How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massey Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Area 2. Two Roads Brewing up in this piece in the form of their Gueze Lambic style beer. Very, using those words. Using those words, gotta be good beer. But Phil Markhouse, he knows what he's doing, so I think we'll be okay. This is 7% alcohol by volume. Gueze. It's a one-of-a-kind Gueze in the tradition inspired of 1-, 2-, and 3-year-old Lambic style ales. Complex sour with notes of oak and farmhouse funk. Contributed by the mature lambic and lively acidity of the younger. Our Gueze is a bottle condition for dry, sparkling experience. 3 years in the making. Blend of old and new, as it should be. Bottle number 64. Okay. This comes courtesy of my boy Steven. He sent off a big box of beer, as he usually does. And this is in there with a bunch of Area 2 stuff. I'm doing two of their... I'm doing three of their bottles singles, and then there's a side-by-side I'm going to do with their Creek and their Framboise. So we'll see what's what. Leave a little bit in there. Throw it in this big snifter. I don't know why I grabbed this bottle, or this glass. Label-wise, I love it. Classic stylings. You have a little gold foil up top. It really does speak and scream of kind of old-school, kind of Sen Valley, kind of Lambic-style beers. It looks the part, too. Pretty much looks like apricot juice from a distance, but it also looks like a hazy pale. All looks like, all kinds of different beers, but that head dissipating as quick as it does, not really being around all that much longer. Kind of clues you into something a little bit funky, a little bit acidic, a little bit sour. Like the sun it looks. Let's get a nose. Okay. There's a decent amount of acidity to this one. Very much kind of just like fermented... I'm getting like an apricot lemon thing off of this, actually. Apricots and lemons, definitely apricot. There's a nice vanilla kind of component to it. I believe that's all coming from the wood. I think I'm going to get a decent sweetness off of this, but I think I'm going to get a really sharp acidity to it. Not sure how tart it's going to be, cheek pulling tart or anything like that, but it smells really, really aggressive. It's 7%, so it's not the smallest beer in the history of mankind, right? 7? I didn't even read that yet. 7%. And, aggressive. Comes out very aggressive. There's a little bit of sulfur in there. Just a little touch. I'm not going to say I'm going to hate on that. Maybe even a little bit of skunky, hoppy vibes in it, but I kind of appreciate that in these green bottle jammers. It smells nice. Let's dive in. Cheers. Well, that came off completely different than I thought it was going to be. So that fresh lambic comes off really aggressive on the nose. So you think you're going to get this huge pop of acidity and tartness and even sweetness to a certain extent. When you drink it, it's really, really, really smooth. Like there is some bit of sharp edges to it where it should be. As you still have that younger version of lambic in there, kind of bringing a little bit of, what do they? You don't sell the steak, you sell the sizzle. Is that the way what they say? And that's kind of that young lambic, kind of being that sizzle on there. And it's really bringing that kind of big aromatic, kind of first little punchy part of the beer to play. But in the grand scheme of things, you can tell good portions of this beer had time. There is a decent acidity level to it, because if I wasn't on heartburn medication right now, I think I'd be getting little zips and zips of heartburn. But it really does bring that kind of apricot, not so much that lemon, limey kind of thing, but this big kind of apricot orchard, kind of naturally inoculated kind of beer thing going on. I mean, there's no fruit in this. But it's almost like one of those breweries. You have a nice, big, huge apricot kind of stone fruit orchard. You open up those doors, you let it kind of just, self-yeast itself, and kind of bring that kind of orchard vibe to it. I mean, classic farmhouse stylings when it comes to that kind of, you're tasting the terroir of the beer in there. And then really the amount of wood, or I shouldn't say amount of wood, but the multiple levels of how the wood plays off on this, because you do get a big vanilla component. That's probably, your fresher version of the beer kind of sucking off that fresh vanilla and it lasting in there. Then you get this nice kind of soft oak tannin, probably from your middle year kind of lambic in there. And then you get that older kind of, almost like, I don't want to say like smoky, but a little bit, more nuttier for lack of a better term, smokier kind of woodiness to it. So there's probably multiple levels of acidity to this, multiple levels of that wood characteristic in there. And the way it kind of plays with that kind of orchard-fed kind of naturally inoculated kind of beer, it comes off as complex. It really does. I based off of the nose, going into the taste, it's kind of back and forth in a very aggressive way as far as making your brain churn and making your brain think about what you're tasting and what you're enjoying and maybe what's not your favorite part of the beer, which is very minimal. Most of it's really, really tasty stuff. But at the same time, it drinks relatively easy. It's pulling off that cool trick to where it's like a hyper-aggressive, easy drinking beer. Sounds like an oxymoron, but I'm me. I say weird shit. What do you want me to say? But yeah, I like this quite a bit. Quite impressed, to be perfectly honest with you. It does close my eyes, drink this blind. I would almost, I definitely think I'd venture a guess and be like, this is definitely from overseas, not from the United States. What's they say in here? I mean, they say the live acidity from younger. Dry is a given on this. I didn't even talk about it. Sparkling experience. I wouldn't say sparkling. It doesn't have that kind of effervescence kind of carbonation thing on it. Not that it's undercarbonated, but I like it through and through as a core beer with not a big, not like a fruit component to kind of hang its hat on, just to give you this level of stone fruitiness on multiple levels in the aggressiveness with that drinkability. Absolutely fantastic beer. Let's talk about it. Is it one of the better Guezes I've had as of late? Yes, actually. I like Gueze. It's not my favorite style in the world when it comes to kind of, I'm more of I don't know if I want to go Creek or just base Lambic. I don't know. But I can get down with them sometimes if they're done a certain way, and this is the way I like them to be done. So yes, it's one of the better ones I've had as of late. Value and availability, no idea. Steven, let me know what's what when it comes to what you paid for this beer and leave you with if you like what will you like this beer. If you like slightly acidic Gueze that is traditional but with a little bit of extra flair that's not overly acidic, then you'll dig this one. So there you go. A review on the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of Area 2 right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.